and I had a chance to talk about public square outreach. Now, I use that term a lot, and I think it's important to define that term. And so I'm going to start kind of right in the middle where it says what public square outreach isn't. So, okay, this is something somewhat unique and different. There's so many different lanes of the pro-life movement. So what it's not politics. It's not a prayer vigil. It's not pregnancy care and support. I'm not disrespecting any of those. Which ones of these are important? They are all important. Hugely important. It's not sidewalk counseling. And I think the unique thing about and the important thing about public square outreach is that in contrast to the other lanes, public square outreach engages the population broadly. The other wings, I think, more engage the population narrowly. I'm not being respectful here, but I'm saying preaching to the choir. Preaching to the choir is important. I'm preaching today, and you're going to get 2 sermons for the price of 1. Okay? But who am I preaching to? I'm preaching to the choir. And it's important to preach to the choir. Many of you go to the CareNet banquet. That's preaching to the choir. And that's important. But if we don't penetrate our community, society, body politic broadly, that's not good. And I will also say something about public square outreach that it's fallen out of vogue in our community. When we as Christians, one thing that we are so much is that we are nice. And there's times to be nice. Tina, am I nice occasionally? Okay. I think it's really a very high percentage of the time. But when we go out, we're on this coming Friday to have an outreach at CVS Pharmacy, who's committed to selling abortion pills. We're out to proclaim something that we think is horrendous. So you do those sorts of things. So she said, Lila says, what does public square outreach really entail? And I never thought of an answer to that, but she jogged my mind. And so just a little bit below, I want to talk briefly about that there's 3 things that I think are involved in public square outreach in Waco. And one is fixed signs. Signs that are standing in the streets, on the streets, signs. My favorite kind of sign I have labeled as a micro billboard. And micro billboards are sometimes called yard signs. And today we are giving away, and I have a few more in my car. I didn't get them all out. Of the Love Both Choose Life. I have more of those. We're giving those away. We made up a new sign and we decided to charge $10 for it. The Christmas sign. It's our billboard that somebody suggested to me, John, why don't you make a yard sign out of that? I said, that would never work. And I made some. I said, boy, this looks great. And I want to encourage you to put this in your yard. These are $10. We have more. But the special place I really want you to put these signs is at your church, at the walkway of your church, so that everyone at your church can see that. Try it, all you can lose is, okay. So that's one thing. And we have the billboard truck out there. So one thing is these fixed signs. And the other is signs that you hold. Now that's what's really fallen out of vogue. Oh, please, don't hold a sign. Don't hold a sign. Come on. Is that what they did in the civil rights movement? Was it a movement of nice? It was very nice, I think. But it was dynamic. It was in the streets. It was challenging. And that's what we need to do. And the others is really is quite nice. Is I call fairs and festival, and I've really thought about this. And you could also add tabling, like they do on the Baylor campus, where you get in a position and you're available to engage. And so we take advantage of opportunities like the Sacred Heart Parish Festival, and then the We Are Chosen annual event, and the models, the soft touch models that we have out there. The youngsters just love it. They just love seeing those models and touching the models and holding them. So, as time goes forward, we are going to be, Pro-Life Waco is going to be more focused and more committed on engaging the broad population. I think we have done that. Well, one thing Lila said, just tell me what this public square outreach is about in Waco. And I said, well, I kind of say two things. One is we want our neighbors to know that they have neighbors who abhor the shedding of innocent blood, and that maybe they should too. That's one of our purposes, of being up on the overpass, out on Life Chain, over at Planned Parenthood with It's a Baby Waco, Friday at CVS Pharmacy. Tremendous location for public square outreach. And we want our neighbors to know. And the other thing that I said, that I think she kind of liked what I said, is that we want to make it impossible for anyone to live in Waco for as much as 10 days or be in Waco for as much as 10 days if they're not locked in their office. It's impossible not to encounter a pro-life challenge. And I've talked to people from out of town and said, oh gosh, Houston's not like this. You know, and our yard signs are out, our billboards are out, our billboard truck is out. And then we are out personally. So, okay. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's what public square outreach is, and that's what we're going to emphasize. And I think we've made our mark. The Girl Scout cookie boycott was an outrage to that public square outreach at the nobody's full sex ed. I want to say something else about doing this public square outreach. If you do public square outreach in a community, then you are in a position to respond to challenging circumstances, such as somebody on the city council wanting to enact a Grace Act to make our police stand down. Well, I said, no, not without a challenge are you going to do that. But I didn't have to start from a base, from scratch. How am I going to get to Tina? How am I going to get to Heidi? Yeah, well, you're on my list. I can get to you. And we were able to take the lead. We weren't the only ones involved. The Republican women were very much involved. Donna Garner was very much involved. But we were able, as Pro-Life Waco, because we did public square outreach month to month, we were able then to respond to that, to bring 300 to 400 people to the city council meeting. And I'm told not to use belligerent language, to give a setback to the Grace Act. Okay. Another thing we did was when the Wacoan newspaper had a full-page ad in the Wacoan magazine, their glitzy magazine, for abortion is here on Highway 6 for you. And we were able to first kindly suggest they shouldn't take Planned Parenthood ads, and that was refused. And so then we kindly had about 17 or 18 people, some of you are in this room, that stood out with signs right in front of the Wacoan magazine on Valley Mills Drive, one time a month, and then my telephone rang offering terms of surrender. I in a previous life, I was a college teacher. economists no more. Oh, we love graphic presentations. So, in thinking about public square outreach, in contrast, a lot of other outreach, I'm afraid, we've lost about 9 statewide elections in a row in the pro-life movement. And some are saying in the pro-life movement, well, it's not that bad. I'm saying it is that bad. We gotta wake up. What's going on here? We were expected to win by 3 or 4% the independent vote in the 2022 election. We lost the independent vote by 3 or 4%. If we don't reverse that, I fear for Ohio. I fear for Ohio. We're not going to change this preaching to the choir. You get the news of Life News and Live Action News. You see all those articles there. It's all things to make most of it. No, I'm not saying all of it. Most of it is things to make us feel good as pro-lifers. This does not penetrate, though. Not penetrate. So this is what can you understand what I'm trying to say here? These little blocks are all people. And then up in the upper right, left-hand corner is pro-life, and down the other corner is pro-abortion, and then across that broad middle, those are that mushy middle that we got to get to. We got to get them over to our side. And so, we hammer away on preaching to the choir, appeal to the choir. Now, click to the right. Oh, what tremendous help. Okay, and so this is what we mean by public square outreach. Now I've got this very, very broad, and sometimes you're not all that broad, but the idea is you're doing something. Oh yeah, we're talking to pro-lifers. We're getting those thumbs up all the time. And then we get thumbs down. Okay, that's the way they do it. Thumbs down. Don't go there. We've got children in the room. And okay. And then the people in the middle. So when we're up on the overpass, when we're out at Protest CVS, we're touching thousands of people in a small way. I'll admit it. Maybe there's some better ways, but here we are in Waco, Texas, and this is what we can do. So these are the loaves and fishes that we're going to bring to the table. So in the packet, I have September and October, all of our public square outreach. Come to one more event than you have in the past. If last month it was none, then, one. Join us. I mean, it's important, and it really is, it's enjoyable. We have a good time. And usually you get a meal out of it after the event. But this is designed especially to be taped to your refrigerator door. And so you have it there. And then I also, in the packet, I have this illustration here. So just to kind of remind you of that presentation. Can we just keep on the choir? We should do all the things that we're doing with the choir. We should have a great banquet on Thursday evening. But then, the next page, we were written up in a news article on the CVS outreach. So we do. We get recognition, and I'm pushing it. When the weather gets a little bit cooler, I'm going to make an offer to people around the country. If you will do monthly pro-life, Walgreens or CVS, we will send you free yard signs. Now, I want you to know about another thing that we're doing when we're out there at this protest CVS. We are able to give out 60 to 70 flyers, about great flyers from 40 Days for Life on the abortion pill. The traffic on New Road is so clogged and slow. We have a great opportunity to distribute flyers to people. So we're going to take a break from CVS in November, and we're going to protest Target every week. On Friday, the same time, it'll be Friday, 11 to 1, and that includes Black Friday. We will be out there. So, and the pharmacy is a CVS pharmacy inside of Target, and then there are a few other little things that Target is doing that merit our attention.